What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Thai Live channel and Nail That Studio official, you guys. This is the first time me and him sitting face to face doing this awesome podcast for you guys. And today we want to talk about nails and the things that we go through in nails. But at the same time, we want to talk more about the Premier Beauty Show that me and him, are hosting a seminar to teach you guys how to create content. What do you think about that, Nail Dad?
You know, Premier Orlando is probably one of the largest trade shows, probably in the U.S. right now, given how big the nail is. It's not just nails. It's like hair, makeup. There's a lot of vendors. But I think for any trade show, the Premier Orlando has arguably the largest, they call it nail world, where a lot of the distributors and stuff come in to the Premier, a lot of brands, big brands, and they get to showcase their products. And as a retail, it's for anybody that really wants to go to the show. It's not just something that for distributors, like if you ever gone to Cosmoprof, like how we met at Cosmoprof.
Yep.
This is for pretty much nail techs and anybody just want to buy and purchase stuff. And you'll be able to get some good deals from these shows and stuff like that. And also meet a lot of the influencers and some of the CEOs and owners. And it's a very good experience for a lot of nail techs to actually go to these shows because you get to network. And, you know, if you're a nail tech, you want to kind of level up, meet some people in person. If you want to become a brand ambassador or work with a brand, it's easier than to just meet them in person compared to having to DM them and, you know, having your DM not being read or just being mixed in a lot of spam. But I think this show is going to be probably one of my fifth shows I'm attending.
Your fifth show?
Yeah. It's in Orlando, so I live in Orlando. It's very easy for me to get to. I know this is your first one.
How was your experience like when you first time like going to the show? Like, were you nervous? Because I know there's a lot of people out there, they're new to the industry and they've never been to none of these shows, but they hear good stuff about it. How should they prepare themselves for this big event?
You know, for me, being a nail tech in the industry for almost 15 plus years, working in the salon and also, you know, doing a lot of, opening my salon and running my salon. I never go to these shows. Let's be honest. I was never big in social media. It's when I started getting into social media and started seeing the content and posting this and seeing these brands go to these shows. And one day, you know, as I get to know a lot of the brand owners, as I start getting more into the content creation, social media influencing work, then I start to like go and meet them. And at that point, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. You know, you can help them out, and you know, sometimes you do create content with them, and you know, you start building a more of a connection with these brand owners and also other influencers that you meet.
Yeah.
You like I think like, you know, when I first got on social media, when I was doing live streams, a lot of people knew me. And I didn't realize how much people knew me until I went to these shows. And there was actually other nail techs that were watching me now from all over the United States coming to Orlando and watching the show that they recognize me. And that's one of the things I'm probably sure you're going to go through right now wherever you go, people recognize you, right?
I agree.
And it feels really good and also kind of connects with your followers and supporters in person. Like, hey, you know, I watch your videos all the time.
Right.
Or I learned so much from you and this and that and this and that. And it's different when you're seeing it on a message.
It is.
Than when you actually see them in person and you can see the energy, how much the content or the educational content, funny content, whatever content you're putting out there that really benefiting them. And I think that's one of the best experience with the shows when you start going. And you don't have to be an influencer or something big to go to these shows. This is for the retail, for the nail techs, for anybody in the beauty industry to go and walk around. You can meet people that are outside of the nail industry that knows you too, like from hair, makeup, all that stuff, and they just enjoy your content.
And that's surprising because when I first started doing content, I didn't expect people to recognize me when I go to these shows. And I was pretty shocked. Like that first experience to know that you had a fan, it feels nice, but it feels kind of weird because you don't know how to act, right?
No, yeah. You're kind of like, they're starstruck and you're kind of like nervous and you're like, you know, how do you're used to posting the content.
Right.
And then they're just watching you.
Right.
It's never like you're in front of them and they're talking about your content.
Right, and how much they love you and how much they appreciate you, right?
I think for me, it's like if you really give this industry, like, when you know, I started my social media career from live streaming.
Right.
I was in the salon still, and I was working, you know, 10 to 13 clients a day. On average, I do 8 clients a day.
Right.
And one day, you know, I just started live streaming me doing nails. It goes from like 5-10 viewers. This is when I had like 220 friends on Facebook.
Wow.
You know, not like the 200, 300,000 followers now.
Right.
But, you know, you see 10 people watching, you're like, wow, 10 people are watching me, and it's fun. So then as I kept doing more and more lives, they keep coming back and it keeps growing. I think I peaked at one point 21,000 people watching me at one time.
Wow, 21 on a live.
And I'm just doing like refills and regular full set, nothing fancy.
Right,
This is salon work, guys. Like I was working in salon work. Like yes, I do long nails design, but like I said, to a lot of my students and a lot of my followers, like
it's the majority of the simple set.
Yeah,
if you're gonna work in the salon, I mean those exotic sets comes once in a blue moon.
80% of consumers or people get their nails done get the just mom nails, what I call it, just standard upkeep and maintenance. And the other, I say 80% because I know from my experience in my salon, if I get 10 clients walking in, 1 or 2 of them are gonna get some kind of trendy design, but the most of them are gonna get what?
Exactly.
Dip, short nails. I want to
French
refill,
ombre.
French ombre. Yeah, standard stuff. That's what I was doing.
Now you mentioned earlier, because I know we were talking about Premiere and all that, but now that he mentioned about him working in the salon, he was mentioning something about working 10 clients a day. I want to hear more about that because I know a lot of you guys who are doing nails, you guys are struggling to try and get 5 clients throughout the day. How do you get 10 clients throughout the day, man? That's tough.
The big question is not about if you can get 10 clients a day, is it if you can do 10 clients a day?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the speed is one of the things. I'm gonna say this is a very big taboo, a very stereotypical word. A lot of people say it. I don't like it because I just think it's just stereotypical. But there's some truth to it. Like they call them chop shops. They just get them in and out quick, right?
Oh, we heard that name all the time.
You guys have from perspective. That term comes from a series, generations of salons, decades of salons that didn't do long nails design.
Exactly.
Just standard pedicure, manicure.
Exactly.
And stuff that requires
mom and pop shop.
Yeah, mom and pop shop. They just do the standard stuff that 80% of the consumers get.
Yep.
That's where the money generation. Every business needs to generate money, right?
Correct.
So they're so used to that, and there's only so much time you can take doing a certain process step, a short set or something like that. So that's why a lot of salons you see these nail techs churning out clients. Arguably, yeah, some nail techs probably rush or something like that. The quality's low, but if you have the skill level of you built it up where you can actually produce a great quality, but your time management is good, that's how you can be able to get out 10. I've seen nail techs get out 18 clients a day. If they're doing just standard $45, $50 sets, 18 of those is going to outweigh doing 4 long nails and design set any day.
Right.
You get 18 opportunities to get tipped.
And it's less stress.
And it's less stress. And you don't have to worry about all these products and stuff like that. Just very standard. And the client's happy. Arguably, a client spending $45 to $50 will tip $5 average.
Correct.
I have clients that spend $80, and understandably, they spend a lot of money, so they don't have the tip, so they still tip $5.
And isn't it funny how the $5 tip is so big to us nail tech?
Yeah.
Like you can't say, like a lot of people say, what, only $5? But you'd be surprised that $5 plays a big part in the nail community for a long time.
Because that $5 is a very it's like a medium, like it's like a standard tip kind of. And like it's almost like clients they'll
don't
tip
give me anything less than 5.
Yeah. I mean, for me, tipping is like
is anything.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, tipping is one of those things where is appreciated but not expected. It's gratuity.
Right.
Gratuitous. Some clients tip in other ways outside monetary.
Right.
For me, a client that is consistent, that's the way of them tipping me because I have sustainable income.
Right.
But a client that comes once in a great while, even though they tip good, I don't have sustainable income. I can't depend on them.
Right.
As sustainable income. But some clients, maybe they come very consistent and they don't tip, they're appreciative of your work. And if you have built a good relationship with them, I don't mind that as much.
Nope.
A client that tips good but gives you a hard time, anxiety.
I don't want it.
Like,
leave me alone.
The offset.
I don't want it.
Think about it. Like we're talking about tipping. Like
I'd rather have some client who never tip, but they treat me so well. Let me do whatever. I'll take them any day.
I have a client. Used to have a client that don't tip, but she would bring me coffee every appointment, and I'm just like,
that's better than a tip.
$6, $7.
Right.
So it's like every appointment she would bring me coffee, boba tea, whatever like that. But it's like it's her way of tipping. Like she probably doesn't think about it herself.
Right.
Like, hey, she could have just gave me $6, but for her, it's like, oh, she wants to give me something, and we have a good relationship. So when it comes to tipping, I know right now our industry right now is a little different from the industry 10 years ago. The way that our let's be honest, nail tech expectation is a lot higher now. We make a lot of content defending nail techs because some nail techs don't have a voice, and that's why we make these content.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, it takes 2 to tango.
Right.
Our industry has changed and the nail techs have changed. So arguably the tipping process has gone way too far out, as in like it's too much expected. And yes, you should expect a tip for your work, but at the end of the day, if you do good work, and you make a good relationship with your client, one, they're gonna tip you. They're gonna make you get taken care of. Two, they're gonna be consistent. So
Right.
having both of those already, and losing one or the other, and losing the tip and having the other I think is practical for me as a nail tech. I do appreciate the tip though. It does help us a lot,
Right.
especially as nail techs in
Gas
salons.
money, fast food
Yeah.
money. Yeah, stuff
We
like
work in
that.
a salon.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of our followers, you guys are at home nail techs.
Right.
You know, you make your own money, so you get the money right away. When we used to work at salon, we don't get the money right away.
No.
Either every end of the week or every 2 weeks
Correct.
sometimes. So we don't get paid until every 2 weeks most of the time.
Correct.
So the tip money actually helps a lot for us going through the week and stuff like that until
Yeah.
we get paid.
Yeah.
And and once you get paid, it's all go out to bills
Right.
anyways. But that's why is the tipping. It really helps a lot of nail techs out for those clients who are out there that are watching like, oh, I'm getting my service ready. Why should I tip? It's a service.
Mm-hmm.
You're not eating a food. You're not getting you're not buying
Right.
an item.
Right.
No, it's still considered a service. And then of course nail techs at the salon we
Right.
give up 40% to the owner.
Right.
Sometimes even more, 55% sometimes. So we don't really make that full service. So that $50 set that you did, we're not getting $50.
Right.
No, we're getting 60% of that, and we don't
Correct.
get that until 2 weeks later.
Exactly.
So the tip does help, and here and there, we have some good tipping days, some
Yeah.
bad tipping days.
I
but-
remember, like, at the end of the day, after I finish up my salon work, I would always look at my wallet and count my tips. I'll be like, oh man, today I got like $25 tip. And it's funny, it's not a lot when you talk about $25,
No.
but it's so much to us because it's like, imagine if you get $25 today, tomorrow's another $25, and then the following days, that's $75 in 3 days. At the end of the week, you can make at least a couple hundred, and that's towards your income too. And that's like a little expense for you while you're waiting for that pay.
Prospectively, if you think about it, us nail techs in the salons, we work 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, I hate
$25, $25 a day, multiplied by 6.
It's not a lot.
Arguably, it's not a lot, but
It's enough.
It's enough. But if a nail tech that is at home and they're only working 1 or 2 days a week,
Right.
Of course, if you're not getting tipped a lot, it's going to feel low. But the more days you work, the more you fill up your schedule, you're going to get actually more monetary tip.
Correct.
I would consider 15% of our income is from tips. I think anybody in the beauty industry, to be honest, 10 to 15%, I think is generous. As in like that's fact out your tip.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not gonna go past where waitresses and
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. They work on tips.
They work on tips.
So they don't
Here
have to pay.
we do make money on the service, but like what now that say, tips is like gratitude. You feel bad for us. You know that we have kids to feed. We share with you our sad life stories.
Yep.
That's our tactic. Just want to those are tactics
I go
for you
with
to
a
feel
single
bad.
dad.
Yeah, I go with I'm a single dad.
I'm a single dad. I put my pictures of my kids up there. I'm a single dad.
But no, where's your wife's picture at?
Mom left. I'm a single dad doing pedicures and dips and short French
how
sets.
funny.
Appeal to the moms, the soccer moms. They understand.
So let's
Single
talk
dad.
about content creating, because nowadays nail techs are not just nail techs anymore.
Oh no.
I mean, nail tech was so simple. You show it to salon, you work. Now it's like you go home, you gotta see what video you gotta edit.
Yeah.
Tell them all about that, man. Tell them all about that.
As the industry grow and we're getting more into the social media, I feel like the nail tech's job is so much more now, so much more demanding. And there's and the clients, sometimes clients don't understand, like, you just got the nail supply to sit. No, now nail techs now, to generate the clients, they have to buy the top phones, the mounts, all the newest things, the training things to record, to edit, and then they have to spend extra time editing videos. So that they do this so you can see their work.
Right.
So you can see the artwork. So
Right.
so you can see the inspiration.
Right.
That's what they do, and then that's why it's so much more demanding. The nail techs when we used to work in the salon, we have a Walmart bag, our pedal drill,
Yep,
and
that's
brush,
it.
and go to the salon and work,
Yeah.
and we come home. We don't have to worry about getting on our phone,
Yeah,
editing,
no.
checking with clients and stuff like that. I think it's more demanding now, the industry, for
A nail
I think
tech.
nail techs, and I think any beauty
Any industry. Actually,
industry.
any business now.
Any business now.
Any business now should
And
make use of social media.
Content creation is one of those things where you find your niche and you be consistent, and then you attack it, and then you can connect with the community.
Correct.
I think both me and you kind of had that same style. That's when we met each other on TikTok.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, I ran across your video. I'm like, wow, he's in the salon just like me, and
Right.
we're making similar content. That's how we met. If you guys didn't know, but I think at the end of the day, you know, we utilized our ability or our environment to create videos, educational, funny humor to kind of connect with the nail techs that are in the same situation,
Right.
and you guys can be able to relate. I think
Right.
content creation is really about connecting with your
It's,
community
it's about
organically.
it's about showing you guys that we're only human, and we go through the same thing. If you work in the industry long enough, then you will see the bad side and the good side. And me and him, that's what we do is we expose the pros and the cons so that you guys can laugh, relate, and learn. And that's really important. And like he mentioned, content creating is not just about exposing your work, but technically you have to look at it as a business where you're marketing yourself, where you're advertising yourself. Instead of going out and pay international televised commercial, you can go on and create your own page. People will watch it. People will love you for it. And I think it's so important that nail technician or any type of business get on social media. But talking about social media, it's not an easy thing.
No.
It's hard because it takes time. It's understanding the software. It's understanding what content to make. How do you stay relevant and how do you start?
I think relevancy really begins. I think a lot of nail techs, they look at numbers. Everybody looks at numbers.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, I have 500 followers.
Right.
And they get just very discouraged by that. Just remember, I had no social media platform. I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, I had no Instagram. I had I had 200 friends on Facebook, 264 friends. I remember that number clearly.
Yep.
I had all I did was went to the nail salon and work.
Yep.
It was when I picked up my phone on Facebook one time, went live to my 264 friends that are probably in the same industry, you know, just my friends from college that don't even do nails. And then I understood that when people enjoy what they're watching, they're going to share it to other people to enjoy watching also.
Right.
They're going to engage with it. And I think the biggest word that everybody run into is the word algorithm, which I understand.
Right.
We are pretty much trying to play a game with this AI, this algorithm, this preset rules that's set up by these platforms for a reason. We're playing a game with them. And if we don't play the game the way they want us to play it, they're not going to show us to other people.
Right.
So once you understand the algorithm, once you understand what is it that they want you to show, and then the rules you have to follow, then you'll be able to get your content out there, and it gets more exposure. Then you start growing organically. When I say organic, I mean growing as in people actually enjoy you, watching you, or whatever content you're putting out. That's why they follow. That's why they engage.
Right.
That's the organic.
Right.
You know, getting a view from someone just scrolling by, it's one thing.
Or promoting your view is not organic.
Yeah. If you're gonna pay for it, that means that the system's helping you push it out.
Right. It's not
So
organic anymore.
These people that are watching it may or may like it, but if they don't like it,
They'd be
then
like, what the hell is this showing on my page?
They don't like it, then it hurts you.
Yeah.
Because you just
Badly.
badly. So that's why people that buy followers, people that buy engagement.
So don't do that.
Yeah.
And when he is talking about the algorithm, the question you guys probably have right now is, how do you figure out the algorithm? To be honest with you, we don't have to answer for that. But that's why we post consistently. That's why consistency is so important, because you don't know what the algorithm expect. But if you keep posting it, the algorithm eventually gets sick and tired of your posts, and they're like, let's delete this one out.
Yeah.
And it works like that. It's called mass production. And if you're able to produce enough, somebody's gonna recognize you.
So the thing for me is when I first started, it's like sometimes you get that. You have it when it goes up and then all of a sudden it goes down.
Right.
And you kind of wonder, like, what is it they want from me?
Right.
So, like, I have, like, different styles of content that I'll post. I got educational, I got tutorial, and then I got skits.
Right.
So then if I'm posting skits, and then it's slowing it down, I'm like, okay, let me switch over to this. And then I'm posting it again. It kind of changes a little bit.
It fucks around with the algorithm.
And I also always, whenever I post anything, I always make sure I timestamp it. I'm
Right.
posting this and this day. So if that goes viral or it gets a lot of interaction, I'm like, okay, this is what they want to see.
Piggyback it.
Yeah, and then I keep posting that same type of content
for a while.
So, for me, it's like that's generally one of my main things with how I did my social media. But we get burnt out as content
We
creators
all do.
sometimes.
We all get burnt out.
I just took a almost 2-3 week break from posting content. I used to post 2 to 3 pieces of content a day to like now once a day, if not less. So it was like one of those things where I'm like, now I'm gonna start slowly transitioning back into it. Waited for a minute to get here so we do this podcast, kind of
And I'm glad we're here
get
because
out of my hiatus.
I am here in front of him is because we have this seminar that me and him collaborating together, and we're teaching beauty beautician how to create content. And when we teach this kind of class, we want to teach you our organic way, like how we did it. We didn't promote our page. We didn't ask people to follow us, like our page. No, all we did was just be creative and post. And those two, it might sound easy, but it's an everyday challenge because sometimes your creativity burns out.
You know, like when we talked about this seminar, Ty, me and Ty, we talked about the seminar for a long time.
Yeah.
And then we decided when do
We
we want to
started
do
since
it?
the beginning of this year.
Yeah, beginning of this year. So we're like, what do we want to do? Let's do a Premiere Orlando. Let's do a small one to see how many people sign up.
Correct.
So, you know, we got a few people sign, like a handful of people sign up. But of course, we're going to meet more people at the Premiere.
Can people still sign up right now?
Yeah, you can sign up anytime. Our seminar is on the last day.
Okay.
2 to 4. So, you know, they can just log onto their portal and then they just add the workshop
So you guys
there.
are going to the show as you guys are listening to this. There's still a couple more days.
Yeah.
Register, get the class, submit your admission so that you can get your seat ready because we're about to give you some golden nuggets.
I mean, I think in that seminar, I think me and Ty are going to really break down from A to Z, I would feel like, and also kind of create content right there on the spot for you guys to see how we incorporate everything we've talked about into content and then get you guys involved into content also. So you kind of feel there are some people that are camera shy.
They are.
Believe it or not, as content creators, I know some really amazing content creators, artists, but they're camera shy.
Yeah.
I can't do voiceovers.
It's funny how they can do a voiceover, but once they get on the camera, it's like they sit
Some
up.
are both. Yeah. Some can't get on the camera and some can't even do a voiceover, but they do amazing work.
Right.
I sit there, I'm like, oh my God, like you have exactly what I don't have. As a male tech, we can't do a lot of the content that the girls
females do. No.
Yeah, with the
long
the nails and stuff
yeah.
like that, and then
because I don't want to spend 3 hours do my own nail just for content.
But I see a lot of these content creators there, and I'm like, you have everything it takes. You got the skill, the technique. Just incorporate this kind of style. Yeah. And they say, oh, I can't. My voice, I can't let people hear my voice.
I don't want to hear my own voice.
Oh, I can't be on camera. I'm like, wow, okay, so that's tough because if you really want to make it as content creator, it's very hard unless you just strictly do tutorial only. But in that sense, man, when it comes to organically connecting with your followers, they have to see what you look like.
Right.
You know what you look.
Right.
I mean, back then when I used to do live stream, I did.
Right.
Going back to when I did live stream, I did live stream back to back, 8 to 10 clients a day.
Wow.
And people used to stay home all day watching me.
Wow.
Given this is right after COVID, so people are still at home.
Quarantine.
But they only saw my hands.
Right.
I think the funniest things when I started teaching classes and also when people meet me at Premiere, it's like they meet me and they're like, I thought you would be taller. I'm like, how tall do you think I was? She's like, at least 5'11", close to 6.
How you sound and all that?
No, it's how I sound. And also, all they see is my hands.
Yeah.
I'm wearing gloves. And I'm standing there at 5'4", an average Asian height, by the way.
Average, guys.
Average, okay? Not short, not
Let's
not tall.
put anybody down right now.
I'm sitting here at 5'4". That's average. I'm born in the motherland. You know, we don't get the much nutrition as
we don't
we
get the milk
here.
that you guys get here.
Yeah, we get that stuff in the cans. We don't know what's in there, the powder. But given that said, I'm average 5'4", and then when they meet them, they're like, I thought you would be like 5'11", 6 feet. I'm like, well, I wish, but if that's the persona I give out when I'm on,
which is great.
It was great because they go based off of my voice and based off of my hands.
Right.
And that's the funny thing, like, because we I don't show my face, like when every time I go live, this is my hands. So I think that's one of the funniest things when I first started meeting people after being big on social media. And then people actually knowing me and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I thought you'd be taller. I'm like,
how funny.
It hurt a little bit, but then also like, at least on camera,
you're
I'm
putting
6
an
foot tall.
image in their head of something.
See? So that's connecting organically.
So how comfortable are you being in front of the camera now? Now that you've been, I mean, like you can say whatever. You don't give a shit.
I've always been comfortable in front of the camera because remember, outside of doing live streams, I started doing after the nail live streams. I started doing Q&As.
Oh, okay.
I call them like late night after dark. Where this is Florida's one of the first state to open up.
Right.
I'm pretty, you're in California. You guys didn't open up until like 6 months. Right. And we were at 3 months.
Maybe 3 years later.
Yeah. So after COVID, what a time it was to be alive there at that time. But with that being said, I was living separately. I didn't want to go to work and come home with my kids. When we were kind of quarantined. I had my own apartment. And then I got nothing to do, I would do late night lives. Just sit there, Q&A,
That's awesome,
answering
man.
questions. Because when I'm doing live streams and doing the client, I can only answer so many questions in the comments, but there's so many nail techs asking questions. So I pick and choose. And sometimes I'm like, oh, you didn't read my question. I'm like,
Wow.
there's 300-400 questions going
Thousands,
in.
not even 4,000 a day.
And like, how am I supposed to work and answer everything? So I'm
Right.
like, you know what, guys? I'll give you 1 hour a day
Of
at night.
Q&A.
Q&A.
Nice.
Whatever question you had that night,
Nice.
join in 1 hour. Ask it now. I'm gonna sit there and just drink my wine
And then scroll.
And that was my claim.
That was
to
awesome,
my
dude.
claim to shame. I was drinking wine while
that's
doing live
awesome.
stream, which I need to get back into. Of course. I've been lazy on doing that because I've been setting this stuff.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot.
is.
What a nice setting you got, man. I mean, you probably spent months doing this setting.
I spent months.
I remember how echo your voice was, and now it's just
2
freaking
months,
legit,
I think 2 months
dude.
and a lot of money. My wife's like, you spend more time in there than our house. And I'm
Now,
like, I'm
with
sorry.
all this work that you put in, what outcome do you see from all of this? Like, what opportunity that came to you?
I'd be honest with you. I think my career right now, I'm in a point where I spent a lot of time in the salon already, behind the chairs. I call them the trenches, behind the chair.
yeah.
You know, working on clients, like, or close to 10 years of actually actively working, you know. And, you know, then the last 4 or 5 years was just content creation and working. And I kind of transitioned out because I just didn't have the time with the brand and everything like that. I wanted to kind of invest into something to kind of go forward with like a podcasting, just like you know, you really inspired me for that, man.
Thank you,
I'll be
man.
honest with you.
I appreciate
When we
it.
met in Miami, we had that talk. I think Miami is when we first really interacted outside of on social media, you know. And we talked, and you know, you were spearheading that. You were like really pushing for that, and I'm like, okay, let's, you know, sometimes you need a gym buddy.
Yeah.
It's like my podcasting
This
buddy.
is a gym
And,
buddy right here.
I was making excuses for myself.
Right.
I'm gonna do it. But then it's like when you have somebody kind of chase along,
Right,
you know, kind
like-
of run along,
like
and then
ride-
you
ride side
'cause
by
remember,
side.
we used to like call each other once a week. I'm like,
Right.
hey, so I just got this, I just
Right.
got that, and
It's
I'm like,
cool.
okay, now I got to do it. No, I got to
Right.
do it. Then like, you know, I had to build the studio and everything, and I'm like, I'm just like, I just got to keep pushing along. And the more I see you doing the podcast, the more I'm like, all right, I need
Right.
to move
It
my
pushes
ass.
you.
So like now we're here and done. I think
And now here we are.
and then this is where, like, you know, I think transition out where like it just podcasting, bring people on like me, and then we're probably gonna go on more often, but probably
Absolutely.
via like, you know, over the internet, but we'll still have podcasts together.
Absolutely.
But I hope to bring on more other nail techs. I hope to bring on like, you know, even brand owners, something that prospectively, you know, people that can contribute to the podcast.
Yeah, we're the first nail tech with a podcast, to be honest with you, with multiple channels with
Yeah.
a lot of followers.
I mean,
Let's be
I
real
wouldn't say
here.
first nail tech with the podcast, but I'm saying that the first nail techs with like this type of podcast,
Yeah,
anyways.
this kind of
You know,
podcast, talking about nails in events, and not just that. Our goal is just to really help elevate the industry, you know,
Truly.
because with all being said, doing nails, making content, podcasting, at the end of the day, what is our mission? We want to share our thoughts. We want to help the community because, like what Nail Dad said earlier, some of you guys don't have a voice, and we want to be that voice for you guys.
That's true.
We want to speak the truth about this industry because the truth can only elevate the industry, not push the industries down.
You know, I think for me, one of the biggest perspective I can bring to this industry is that I am a mom and pop nail tech. I've been in the industry long enough to gain the respect from salon owners, Vietnamese, Asian nail techs, and also I am an influencer, and I am someone that's been in the now industry, the trending now industry, where I have a bridge from to the American, to the at-home nail techs, to the unlicensed nail techs working, to the ones that are struggling, to the ones that are, you know, are trying to make it. So I understand from both sides of perspective, and I can speak up for both sides instead of being biased to one and to the
Correct.
other. And that's really what I truly want to bring to this podcast. I want to do is there are a few things that, you know, that people don't want to talk about. Right.
There's
Because
a lot of things that people want to gatekeep, and I don't think gatekeeping is a good thing.
gatekeeping one thing. I'm talking about the controversial stuff.
Right,
You know,
the
we
controversial.
know there's a division in this industry, and nobody wants to open that can of worms.
No.
Because you're gonna have one side defending you and the other side fighting you. I want to just have both sides kind of understand each other. I want to
Right.
be the median,
Right.
the glue. Like, hey, listen, I can speak pros and cons for both sides.
Right.
Let's have a conversation right now.
Right.
You know, let's open this conversation where it's on neutral ground,
Right.
where it's not, oh, you're just being biased.
Right.
You're just doing this and that.
A good example would be like dip powder. Come on, you know that's always been the argument. Some of you guys don't believe that method, and some of you guys love that method.
You know,
It's never a black and white area.
I just, for me, I think as someone that, I think the only thing that people have issues with dip powder is dipping your finger into the acrylic.
Right.
There's such an easy fix for that.
Yeah.
Just pour it out to another container, then throw it away. If
That's
you gotta
it.
charge a couple dollars more to make up for that waste, do it. You can tweak it however.
You guys made it up for the cost you guys charge for dip already.
You guys have to understand how someone else is doing something does not affect you or your client. Okay? The only reason people are having issues is because they have a personal vendetta against it. And arguably, there's literally no backing towards it. There are state boards that come in and inspect
Right.
and watch nail techs perform dip powder in front of them and will say nothing. Yet, you have nail techs that are like, this is not, you're not allowed to do this.
Right.
The state board.
If they allows it,
It's not, I don't know if they allow or not, but they're not.
But they're not following it. They're not
there's
citation you on it.
There's nothing in the state board requirement rules that say you can't do it.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's one thing. One of the things is because acrylic powder is pretty much sterilized. Is
Right.
a benzoyl peroxide in there.
Right, right.
The reason why they put benzoyl peroxide in acrylic
doesn't
powder,
grow mold and
it doesn't grow
bacteria.
mold, no condensation, because it's stored. It's a
Right.
product being stored. They don't want something that can have bacterial growth. It's the manufacturers. So it's impossible. Not impossible. Nothing's possible. You know, even
Right.
cleaning products only 99.9% kills germs.
Right.
Nothing's possible. It's a very hard, unhospitable environment for bacteria or anything to grow into it. But nothing wrong with pouring out into a little container and just dipping your client's
Nope.
nails.
And
Well-
and to I want to sum this up too
This
because
fly's pissing me off.
it's okay. I want to sum this up because I know sometimes Nail Dad and we make content and we talk about clients, you know, not paying, complaining about the price. I just want to make it clear, we love our clients.
Yeah.
We love our client. We have most of our clients are the best. But when we talk about clients who complain about the price, a lot of times those are not our clients. But there are clients out there who gets their nails done and not happy with the price, not happy with things that operates in the salon. And that's why we talk about those clients. But we're not bashing on our own client because we have good clients. Because if we don't have good clients, we wouldn't be here doing this other stuff. We'd be hustling in the nail salon trying to get more clients.
You know, perspective, because a lot of our followers are at home nail techs. They have to understand too. You guys, the clients that come to you in your DMs, they should already, they want your work.
Right.
It's like, for us, we do get clients like that.
Yeah.
That walk in and complain. But they're not our long-lasting clients. They're one and done.
Right.
Once they complain, we don't take
One
them as
hit
clients.
wonder.
But the ones that do come to us repeatedly when we're making the content, yes, you know, they're the ones that understand. We're willing to kind of give you guys this scenario
Right.
that does happen out there, and then you guys can be able to see it, because I think a lot of clients that are the good ones. I mean, I'm not saying the good ones, the ones that understand the price and stuff like that. They sometimes when I post content and there's clients, I'm like, wait, people do this?
Right.
Like, people do this? This really happens? There are people out there that
They've
don't
never
know.
seen it.
They've
They
never
don't
seen
see
it. They never see it happen.
But we've seen it all the
They
time.
see it all the time, you know? They're in the salon what?
It's so
that
crazy.
1 hour and a half, but we're in there 10 hours a day. We have 10 other clients.
Right.
10 other nail techs with 100 clients, you
Right.
know? So it's like, yes, it does happen.
It does.
And that's why it kind of brings kind of the exposure to the industry. Like, this does happen. We do go through this. This is why nail techs have these policies. This is why nail techs are afraid of this, afraid of that. This is the stress we go through as nail techs,
Right.
you know? And it kind of makes me feel more human.
Right.
Because I think now the industry is just like clients. A lot of clients really believe that we're just out here making money.
Right.
We're just trying to make money. Who doesn't want to make money? I see that all the time in the comments. You guys just want to make money off of us.
You
I'm
go to
like,
work for money, right?
like,
I know we love what
do
we
you
do,
wanna-
but we still want
What
money.
do you want me to do? You don't you want to go to work? Don't you want a promotion? Don't you want to make more money? Right?
Don't you want to raise?
Don't you
When
wanna
we-
raise?
When we increase the price, that's the same thing as a
It's gonna
raise.
Like, you know, the only thing is we're our own. Like, we don't have to pay for the electric.
Right.
We have to pay for the electric. We have to pay for all the expenses that we work with. You go to work,
And not just that, people don't realize that as a nail tech, we have to pay into our own 401k, our retirement, our Roth IRA, our health insurance. Because nail salon does not
What,
provide
you have
that.
health insurance?
Oh, no, we don't. But
Oh.
you can get
I'm
it.
saying, you have health insurance? I
You
don't have
can
health
buy
insurance.
it. But
We
that's
are.
what I'm trying to say. You guys don't realize that we are our own business. If you work for a corporate, they provide healthcare, whatever, right? All the goodies and all that. You don't get that in the salon industry. You don't get that as a nail tech. So that's why it's hard for nail tech. Even though if we charge you $100 a set, we don't keep $100 like what Nail Dad said earlier. We probably end up keeping only $40 out of that 100.
You know, truthfully, I get it from both. I understand from both perspective, you know, but like people always go back to, it's a luxury. You guys are paying for luxury. You don't go to Louis Vuitton and buy a bag and be like, ugh, I can't believe I'm paying these guys rent.
Right.
Yeah, you're paying more than just the rent.
Go to Ross then.
Yeah, you're paying like 50 times over
Right.
market value for a bag
Right.
just because it's a logo or a brand.
Right.
And then we have to get into the situation of how come some nail techs charge more than others and they do the same work? Well, they might be more popular.
Right.
You might have saw them because they
Right.
have a lot of followers.
Right.
You might buy into the clout.
Yeah.
Some clients do.
Yeah.
They like to go get their nails done from a
Right.
popular nail tech.
Right.
And you're gonna have to pay for that.
Right.
If this nail tech is hopping in the city, if then everybody wants to get in their chair, this
Right.
nail tech's got a lot of content, whatever they're doing, and you want it because you see it, you're exposed to it, then you're gonna pay for it.
Right.
Don't complain about it. But if you want to just go get your standard set from a nail tech that's still up and coming, still does decent work and pay less, that's why there's a price difference
Right.
in the nail tech industry. You know, you go listen to Taylor Swift sing is different. You listen to your local singer and the bar.
There we go. And they're still
They're
singers.
both singers.
They're both singers.
You might enjoy the one that you might enjoy.
You go to
the local.
Burger King and you go to Carl's Jr. They
Yeah.
both make burgers, but their burgers are way different prices.
Yes, that's what you have to understand. It's a luxury expense, and luxury is a very vague interpretation.
Right.
How some people just like a simple pedicure. That's
Right.
luxury to them.
That's luxury.
$28,
Right.
$30.
And they
That's
ask
luxury.
for deluxe.
Yeah,
Then that's still a luxury.
That's
it's
a
still
luxury.
luxury, guys.
It's a luxury experience for them, and that's one of those things where it's not something that that has to be price managed. I think like everybody can say, hey, the nails, the price of nails should be more regulated. And like, how you regulate?
Yeah.
How do you regulate based on the person? It's not a.
How do you regulate a service?
Yeah, a service. It's not like water. It's not like
Yeah.
electricity.
It's not like you go out buy a water bottle and 20 ounce. It's all the same.
Yeah, most Jordans, unless you're really
Right.
fancy, you want to get that Voss.
Right.
Or some sparkling water.
And then with me as a nail tech, it's like the prices are different because it all comes down to know your worth too. But there are some nail tech out there. They kind of overly over the head with the know your worth. Be like, I'm going to charge $200 and $300 because that's my worth. A lot of time, it doesn't work out like that, guys.
Look, knowing your worth is one thing. Understanding how much your worth is another. Okay. I always say this: how much are you willing to pay for your own work?
Right.
Be deadly truthfully honest. I think as nail techs, majority of nail techs in this industry, at home or at the salon, have gotten their nails done before, have paid for sets where they didn't like, but let's pay for sets where, okay, this is worth it. I think as nail techs, to know how much you're worth is to really look at your own work. And don't get me wrong when I say this. I say this all the time. Your friends and family are not the people to go to when you are trying to know your worth. They're always going to put hot air in your head. They're always going to flop because they're supposed to. They love you. They want you to feel like you're $1 million, and you should feel like $1 million. But that's not going to help you to understand what your work is really worth, because at the end of the day, you need to be truthfully honest, because the clients are not your friends and family. The clients are the ones that are shopping around. They need to know if this is worth that price. And if you're overcharging for your work and someone is way overcharging, and they're going to be like, well, I'd rather go here, or I'd rather go this person. They're a lot cheaper, and the work's better or the same. That's why I say you need to look at your work and think, how much am I willing to pay for this? Me, personally. And you have to be honest with yourself, too. Sometimes we want to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. But when I go back to friends and family, doesn't mean that your friends and family can't support you and say, hey, that should be worth more. But they're always going to fluff it up for you. And that's not going to help you.
That's their job.
That's their job. It's not going to help you because the clients are not going to be receptive to that. Majority of friends and family don't even pay that price to get their nails done.
They get it for
They might
free.
say, oh, girl, that's $150. Well, are you willing to pay $150? Oh, no, I got a girl. Or I don't get my nails done.
Right.
We get that all the time on social media. Friends and family, I love you guys. But at the end of the day, there's other ways to support your family member, your friend in their career in the right direction. Don't put them on a pedestal where they're going to fall and get hurt, because that's what's going to happen. And if you're gonna fluff up their prices, like you better be willing to pay
Or you know,
for it.
sometimes I feel bad when the nail tech lowball themselves too.
True.
That's actually a lot right now. You know, when we talk about nail tech charging a lot, it's only a very small percentage. But when you talk about the majority of people doing nails, they charge very low. There's still salon out there who will do a full set for $35 to $40.
You know what it is? You know why?
They're afraid. It's an old mentality. Like they're afraid to increase
Salons are okay. I'm talking about the ones that lowball themselves, the independent nail techs. Let me tell you something. I've said this since the beginning. Why this happens? It's because what's the first thing when a beginner or somebody don't know what to charge? Where do they go? To the internet.
Yeah, they go to internet and they look
They
up.
post up and no, they don't even look up. The ones that look up other nail techs, those are the ones that sometimes overcharge because they just go based on what other
Right.
nail, and you don't know how much this nail tech has put into the industry to get the price where it
Correct.
was. That being said, they go to the internet and I see the post. How much should I charge for this? The last thing you want to do, is ask complete strangers on the internet how much you should charge for something. That's why I said look at your nails and see how much you're willing to pay for it, because you will know. You can put up a set and you can get someone saying that's $80 and someone like I'd only pay $20. You should charge $20 for that. It's very vague because it's up to the person's interpretation. And not saying they're wrong. It might be a $20 set. It might be an $80 set, whatever. But they go to the internet in their early career, and then they'll get a price, and they'll set that price. Let's say $30. I think a lot of nail techs do $20, $30. That's They're lowballing themselves for a set. And of course, guess what? They get so many clients because the average price for nails now is about $55 to $60. So of course, clients, they're gonna flock to them, regardless if they're a beginner or not, because the price is good.
Yep.
Remember, clients are consumers. They shop around. We shop around. Anything cheap, we're gonna go to it, right?
Right.
Like, and sometimes the nail tech, you might start out as a beginner, you get a lot of clients, and you work and you get better, but you're afraid to go up on your price because now you have all these clients, and you're like, okay, if I raise my price, I'm gonna lose them.
You start building feelings for them.
Yeah. No, they're afraid that they're gonna lose them.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fear. I'm gonna lose my clients and raise my price because they never began their careers in understanding how much they're worth by looking at their own work. So as your work gets better, you might not notice it. You might just think they're stuck at that price, and they're too afraid to go up because they have to go to the internet. They have to go to the internet. They need other people to tell them go up in price or you're worth more, instead of knowing I've gotten better.
Right.
This went from $40 to $60.
Right.
And you're so confident because you started early in your career.
Right.
And you can consistently raise your price based on your work getting better.
Right.
We all start as beginners. We fucking suck. We suck.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all
and we
suck.
get better, and we know our worth. For us in nail salon, I worked at a very cheap salon when I first started. I didn't know how to do nails. I went to a salon, it was like $15 a full set. There's a line out the door.
Yep.
Every day. Everybody's trying to get the $15 full set, and it's a hit or miss. The owner knows, the client knows. I come in there, I don't do nails. I'm doing sets back to back every day. I'm getting cussed out. Clients want to beat me out in the parking lot because I'm messing up their nails, But I'm looking at them like, you got in line for a $15 full set. The owner is like, you done complaining? Because we got another person waiting for you.
Right.
I get it as much experience as I possibly can at the lower cost.
Right.
But as my work gets better, I'm gonna move to a different salon. Just like how you go up in your price, I move to a different salon where the prices are higher.
Right.
And the owner understands, the clients understand.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna.
Because some owner will not change it, so you have to change.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't change because that's where they
That's
get
their method.
The method
It's working for them.
is that they don't have to worry about complaints.
Right.
And they don't have to worry about the quality of the nails and the nail tech
It's
working.
just in and out.
It's just in
and
and
that's
out.
how you get chop shop.
Yeah, you get chop shop. But I'm saying like I was actually there a little longer than I was supposed to be.
Right.
Within 3 months I grew so much that where they were requesting me, and the owner was like, this is I need to get him in and out, and now we got a whole room of people waiting for you because they know your work is worth $50.
Right.
But you're only getting $50 worth of paying $15. So
Correct.
they understand that. And if you are going to a shop that is like that, and you know that's like that, you cannot complain because it's pretty much there. Like it's the starter salons for a nail techs, because not every nail like just like beginner nail techs.
Right.
When you started out independently, your work is not as good as you got better over time. You may have lost clients here and there.
Right.
But you sometimes, do you ever think back some of your clients when you first started? You're like, damn, I wish I could get that client again. That client you always remember.
I messed up so many clients starting out, and sometimes you feel bad.
Yeah. You ever
know?
wanted to think like, oh man, that client that I really messed up. I wish I can.
But you know what sucks? It's like once you get better too, you start meeting the pickiest client. Bro, it's weird, right? How it all works. You go from, yeah, I can just do anybody, and then once you start raising price, the picky ones start coming in, and they expect higher service, better service.
Yeah, you have two type of clients. You have the clients that are chronically picky. Because they feel like they're paying more, so they're entitled to be more picky or give you a harder time.
More demands.
More demanding.
Yep.
And those are the ones where I'm like, listen, I always, when I was in my prime, I'm working, my DMs be full of appointments. Like people DM me, and I tell them my price, and they agree to it, and they come in and they give me a hard time. I'm like, listen, when you came to me, you know, like you had to already seen my work to be willing to pay for this price. Why is it that when you come in here, and now you're trying to give me a hard time? It makes no sense. You know. You had it made no sense. Like, why are you doing this? I told some clients that I'm like, you know, like you really wanted this appointment. Like, you know, you really pushing it, and now you're here. You're giving me a hard time. Why is it? We already have the design. We have the set up, and it's, you know, sometimes they just don't know.
Right.
They just don't. They just don't know. They just like feel like, oh, because I'm paying so much, so I'm trying to get my money's worth, kind of.
Right.
Like, you giving me a hard time is not getting your money's worth.
Right.
You know,
because you making me comfortable. I'm gonna go above and beyond for you.
You know. That's why I was like,
you ever have one of them clients where you do her nails and in the middle of the set, you're like, yeah, she's not coming back. Like, you have that thought in your head already. Like,
of course.
Isn't it funny?
You know, no nail techs out there is perfect. I can't. Every nail tech that you've idolized, every nail tech that is popular, they've all gone to their phase where they've done really shitty nails, have off days. There's some clients where, you know, they might not like my personality, or they might not like the way I you know, joke or something like that, and how you converse with them. Like they come in and, you know, they follow in the cloud, they follow in the followers,
and a lot of times not even your work.
No.
Sometimes they just like, I don't like the vibe.
Yeah, they don't.
And then they don't come back.
Yeah, it's just like,
and you can feel it too. Like you can feel like, yeah, she's a little bit weird. I don't want it.
It's weird or not. It's like, I feel like for me, it's like,
weird is to me is weird is like a weird vibe, or like, you know, like you trying to be humble with her, you trying to talk to her, and then she's like, not even like it's like the chemistry's not even there.
Customer client synergy. I think it's very important.
It is.
Like, making money is one thing, but you having a client that pays, and I don't mind that. Some clients come in, they sit down, they pay for the stuff, they leave.
It's cool. I don't mind that.
But when you find a client that actually synergizes with you, and then it's enjoyable when they come in.
It is.
You guys, independent nail techs probably know that more than nail salon nail techs.
It's literally hang out with your friend, hang out with your nails at the same time.
You have that feeling. Those are the clients that are gonna be, you know, your day ones. But with that being said, independent nail techs, you know, I see a lot of nail techs complain, I'm taking too long doing a full set.
Yep.
You know, and I'm taking 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It should only take me an hour and a half. And I'm wondering why.
Yeah.
They ask me why is that now, Dad? I go to their page, and guess what? All I see is client and nail tech content where it's like they're recording themselves doing all this stuff, and I'm like, well, that's why you're spending almost 30, 40 minutes, an hour creating content with them, which is okay. But if you want to manage your time better, and you want to, you know, make more clients or get more clients in the day, then you have to understand
limit
something out of that. You know, it doesn't mean you can't interact with client, but if you're gonna sit there and freaking watch a movie with them,
if you're gonna make content with your client, like how I do it, plan ahead. Like, you know that client's coming, and you know her person. Hey, let's do something real quick. 1 minute, 2 minute, boom. Move on.
I think it's the hangout perspective, because at the salon we're fast paced.
Yeah,
we're in a business. We're in. They have to get in and out. We have an owner. We have a boss that hey, why are you taking 3 hours doing something that's supposed to take an hour?
Right.
But at home you feel comfortable.
Yeah, at home, you know? Different.
And I think a lot of nail techs generally schedule themselves. I've heard nail techs like 3 hour slots because they don't think that they're fast enough. No, you're plenty fast. You're plenty efficient. It's just you give yourself too much time, so you realize
you want to chillax.
Yeah, you want to chill. When you give yourself that much time,
you want to chill.
You want to chill.
Because me, I usually give my clients 2 hours maximum.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what we go through in life at that moment, but it's gonna be done in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can give me the hardest design, I can figure something out to make it 2 hours. The most I can push it like 2 hours and a half. But that's me working without talking. I'm not making content because this is too intense. But let me ask you this. We've been talking a lot, and this is awesome. I can go on. Literally, me and him, we can talk all day.
We have this whole weekend, man.
we can do this all day. But how excited for you about this event in Premiere, man?
I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'm
actually excited because this is my first time I get to be with you. Yeah. All the other brand already knows me. I can't wait to meet the fan base that follows us.
Yeah. I feel like it's my fourth one, so I was kind of.
So he's gonna lead me the way.
Yeah, but like I
into
said,
this event.
this one, like, you know, generally every year I go, it's be the same brand. I do the same thing repetitively. But I think this year with you coming down and you're saying with me and stuff like that, and we're doing the podcast, I feel like there's new perspectives, like, you know, kind of showing you to a new town.
Right.
You know, like, you know, just, you're excited. Sometimes when you have a visitor and something
Right.
like you feel more energized to do stuff. And I feel like this year is going to be like one of the years where it's going to be like a milestone year for me.
Right.
Because I'm really transitioning over to educational. Completely. I'm working with schools. I'm doing online classes. I'm even working with licensing classes. And I think once the podcasting is over more of, you know, the podcast vibe. Also still keeping true to what I originally do is, you know, the Q&As and also the nail content also. But with that being said, like, this is going to be like the kind of the year for me to transition out and then kind of leveling up a little
What
bit.
he's trying to say is that he's not stopping.
You know?
That's what he's trying to say. To sum it up, he's elevating.
Yeah,
he's going to keep going. And we both going to keep going.
Yeah.
I hope you guys like this podcast. This is our first time sitting face-to-face doing this podcast. And let me know in the comment if you guys want more of us together or more of us going live together. Let me know in the podcast, like what he mentioned earlier. We're going to bring up some guests, bringing them to this place or bring them to my location. Yeah. Whatever it is, we're going to continue pumping more knowledge out to you guys about the industry to help build this community stronger.
Truly.
Any last words?
I think you said pretty much everything I wanted to say. And as I do this podcast, you know, me and Min, we're going to try to do more when we get back. And, you know, like I said, I got to start growing that YouTube channel. You know, if you want to support, go to Nail Dad Studios on YouTube. And then, you know, just get back into creating the content. And I'm going to be very scheduled. And hopefully you guys enjoy what we got coming.
To schedule down.
I think we're very few to do this type of content.
There's not a lot because... Why? You know why there's not a lot? Because look how long it takes to set it up. You think one person can do it?
But you know what it is? I think we're one of the few that actually can talk about it almost organically as possible.
Right.
I'm not trying to say some people script. Like, I don't like writing things out.
I don't. You
like,
see, we don't have any script.
We spent an hour setting this all up real quick, and then we just sat down and pressed play.
That's it.
You know, we just work off each other's energy. Yep. I can't read off something or I can't prepare something. I think
it's not organic to me.
I want
to be natural, and this is as natural as we can get it.
That's when you get the really good conversations out, you know, guys.
And I look forward for this this coming weekend because there's going to be more nail techs. We're going to be meeting a lot of people.
Man, you know, we should bring them here.
And yeah, I was telling him we're going to bring them to this and we're going to just talk. So hopefully we can do some more fun stuff in the next few days. So stay tuned with us. And thank you for listening.
Yeah,
everything was good.
Everything was great.
Go sign up for that class. There's only a few more days left.
Yeah.
Premier Beauty Show, how to create content, Nail Dad Studio Official, and the Thai Life. Thank you for watching, guys. You know how we like to end it with some music. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure just talking to you, man.
Man, it's great.
Awesome. Thank you.